So former world #1 free hit for game week 29. I'm going to make this its own video as well. So if you are watching a bit later in the week and this is a much condensed video and this is the start, then welcome. And for anybody that is listening or watching and is yet to subscribe, if you want to keep getting those tips from the former world #1, Mr. Matthew Corbridge, he's on this weekly, or at least his thoughts are when he's on holiday, like he is today. Make sure to hit that subscribe. But we are closing in on 1,000. We're hoping by the time the end of the season comes, we'll get to 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you can help us with that, it's free to do. Would very much appreciate it. But onto the free hit team. Now, I've got the fixtures on the right and the players on the left. I'm not going to go through all of the players, but I'm going to go through the ones that might be seen as maybe less templates. Now, Matt and I have stayed off of Twitter, or tried to stay off of Twitter until we do these videos, just so our thinking isn't swayed. Sometimes it's harder done than said, but Matt assures me he has not been on Twitter. These are very much his picks. So we'll start with the back and we'll go forward. I'll give you Matt's thinking why he's picked the players. So he's gone for Pickford. When I talk about expected FPL points going throughout this section, it is within the last 6 game weeks. That's what has been measured. But Pickford is second amongst goalkeepers for expected FPL points over the last 6 game weeks, behind Alisson, and he's got West Ham at home, which isn't a bad fixture. In fact, if you include all teams over the last 6 game weeks, Everton's defence data, or their player data for expected points, is right near the top. So they are defensively looking quite well. Okay, they might not have looked at the last 3 game weeks, but since Boy's come in, they have definitely been a lot better. They've got a home game, so he would be playing Pickford. If you don't fancy Pickford, you have Sarr. He's away at Southampton, officially, or maybe not officially, sorry, Southampton fans, but on for potentially being the lowest scoring points of any team in Premier League history. So you can see why Sarr might be a pick there if you want a more of a budget-friendly goalkeeper. Across the back line, I think Gabriel picks himself, worth keeping an Arsenal player. Chelsea didn't really look at it against Leicester. Attacking-wise, they're struggling. Palmer seems to be off it, so keeping an Arsenal defender on the pitch seems to make sense. Now, Matt has also put in Tarkowski. He would not be opposed to playing 2 Everton defenders if you do start Pickford, but benching one of them is probably where Matt would lean. But he's second for playing defenders in game week 29 in terms of FPL points over the last 6 game weeks. Most shots of any Everton defender over that time as well. So if you do want to pick an Everton defender banking on a clean sheet, Tarkowski seems to be the one. He's the more attacking than Mikalenko. You know, he's had more shots than him because of the set pieces that Everton plays. So yeah, I think he'd be the way to look. And then Ain't Nori just to balance it out. So I think Matt's point here is either play Pickford and Ain't Nori or play Sarr and Tarkowski. You're then going to play Gabriel. And the other one that he'd really push is Nico Williams. Now, the fixture looks great. They're away at Ipswich. They've just kept a clean sheet against Man City. They've kept a clean sheet against Arsenal. So that would probably point to the fact that they can probably keep one against Ipswich. But the reason he's gone for Nico Williams, not only the fixture, but in terms of the Forest defence going forward, over the last 6 game weeks, he is their top defender for expected goals. He is also their top defender for expected assists. He has a combined expected goal and assist data of 1.51 over those fixtures, which is double what double what Milenkovic has got, who is their second highest. So if you want to also give yourself the numbers up the pitch, Nico Williams seems to be the pick. And then Gvardiol's in there, just from a fixture point of view. We also know he gets goals off corners. He scores for Man City. So it's a potential option if you want to be a bit more flush with your budget. But if you were to say to Matt, pick your starting 3, it's Gabriel, it's Nico Williams, and then he would more likely lean Pickford and Ain't Nori than Sarr and Tarkowski. So there you go. That's the pick from the defence. Looking into the midfield, the 2 people that he thinks are no-brainers, Kluivert and Mbeumo. They are second and third for expected FPL points over the last 6 game weeks. that could very much be a very high-scoring game. Bournemouth and Brentford both like to attack. So hope for a 3-3. Kluivert hat-trick, Mbeumo hat-trick, both on pens, and both will get starts. Bruno Fernandes is also one he'll keep. Now, Matt has obviously benefited from his 29 points over the last three game weeks. And whilst he is overperforming stats, he's getting more goals and assists than the stats suggest. He's still 8th in the list of playing midfielders for this game week. And the fixture away at Leicester is a good fixture. So Matt would also be very keen to play Bruno Fernandes. And then he's on a 4th pick, and he'd go between Son and Bowen. Son is a bit of a punt. He's had 5 returns in the last 5 games. He's a big differential. He's only owned by just over 5% of the game. And Fulham haven't kept a clean sheet in 6 games. So going to Fulham, not a bad fixture for him. He's on penalties, and as I say, he's got 5 fixtures in the last 5 games, so he could come up with something. Otherwise, he would lean towards Bowen. See how he gets on tonight against Newcastle. He'd be starting in that striker position, but he's getting a few goals. So if you were to say to Matt, right, pick your 4, he's going Kluivert, Mbeumo, Fernandes, and probably Bowen. But if you really want to punt, Son is an option. And then the strikers pick themselves. The only other one that he did contemplate was Evan Nielsen, with him coming back in for Otara. The reason he's gone away from that move is you still probably expect Otara to see some minutes. Evan Nielsen was out for a few months, so still nursing that injury, unlikely to get a full 90, whereas Wood, Haaland and Beto, who are the players he's picked, are much more likely to do so, get those longer minutes. So why these? Beto over the last 6 game weeks is top of all strikers for expected goals. That game against West Ham at home, a very nice fixture. West Ham do concede, and as I say, Beto is the guy in the Everton team, not just in the Everton team. As I say, expected goals across all teams and all strikers. He is top of the list, so it seems a really nice option. Wood, what a season he's having. He's got Ipswich. He is 2nd for expected points this game week based on the fixture. So a really, really nice option as well. And then Haaland, top of expected points this game week with that fixture at home to Brighton, is a really nice differential. Anybody that isn't free hitting is very unlikely to have Haaland, and he's a major, major captain option. So yeah, I think those 3 pick themselves, as Matt says. So if you were holding a gun to Matt's head, pick your starting 11 here. He is going Pickford in goal, Gabriel, Aït-Nouri, Nico Williams in your back 3, Kluivert and Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, and Bowen across your midfield. Potentially Son over Bowen, but Bowen for the time being. And then Wood, Haaland, and Beto. So that would be a 3-4-3 pick. But yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. Seems pretty logical and sound to me. If there's anybody else that you think Matt should be putting in this team, put it in the comments. Let us know who you're thinking and which team you're playing.